Hello and welcome to Stretch. Today I'm Claire, I'm going to be your instructor, and we got Jimbo helping me out here. So thanks for joining us on the live feed. I know it's the middle of the week, you might be feeling tired or stressed out, it's the end of the day, so it's really awesome that you've made the time to come and join us here in the class. Just slow down for a moment and breathe a little. So to start out, we're going to start in a seated position, whatever feels comfy. So that could be cross-legged, that could be on your knees, that could be maybe feet out in front, whatever works for you. I'm going to start seated cross-legged. And what we'll do first is think a little bit about what we're doing with our spine and our posture. So for the duration of today's stretch, I want you guys to bring a little energy to your posture and your spine, because the reality is most of us, most of the time, are sitting at our desk or craning over our phone, and we're just collapsed in, hunched over, and we're not really doing good things for our body. So we're going to start simply seated position, and I want you to try and create as much space as you can between your shoulders and your ears. We'll take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, I want you to try and imagine that your rib cage is floating over your pelvis. From here, we're gonna drop our shoulders down nice and low and externally rotate them. So open them outwards and pin them back and down. So hands can just stay on your knees or wherever feels good, but just trying to set that intention, get that posture right from the beginning, and make sure that we're kind of getting that alignment where it should be. So ideally, when your posture is right, we're gonna have a nice line, ears down to shoulders, rib cage over pelvis. And if we're standing, obviously over feet too. Cool. So we'll just take 3 deep breaths there. If it feels good, close your eyes. This is just the start, so we want to relax and kind of lean into it. So deep exhale in, out, awesome. Whoa, it's so peaceful in the gym here. And one more. Perfect. From here, we're going to move into a seated chest opener. So we'll bring our hands behind us, and they'll sit probably a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, whatever feels comfortable. And you can rest your weight either on your fingertips. If you're real bendy, that might be on your palms. So for this one, we're going to try and open up our chest and pin those shoulder blades back and down. So we're looking a little bit higher up, nose pointing towards the ceiling, and we're trying not to cave into the shoulders. So taking another couple of deep breaths there. Really trying to maintain that integrity through the spine and the shoulders, not caving in, and exhaling out. Awesome. Cool. Next, bring your feet out in front of you. We're going to do a little windshield wiper. See what's going on with your hips and your glutes and your legs. So hands stay behind us, they're going to support us, and we're just going to flop our legs to one side. So I'm going to the left first, and see if you can drop those knees down to the floor. I'm a little tight, so I'm actually struggling. Some of you might be better than me on this one today. And we'll look across the opposite shoulder and get that stretch at the same time. Awesome. So with this, we're still trying to keep that posture. So imagine we've got thread pulling you up nice and high, and let's swap. So we'll drop those knees to the other side and then look in the opposite direction, trying to stay upright, not slouch into it, and breathe and relax into the posture. Awesome. We'll do a couple more active ones. So we're just flipping from left to the middle, to the right. You got it. We're going side to side for the windshield wipers. Nice. just to get a slightly more active stretch and see if we can get a little further with that. How's that all feel?
Not when you got sore knee.
Yeah, I'm tough. I find those tough too. Great. So we'll take a break there and we're going to shift our weight forward and warm up our wrists a little bit. So sitting back on our knees, find a comfy position, and we're just going to bring our hands out in front of us. So we can either have them closer to the knees or further apart. Closer to the knees will be easier, further away from the knees will be harder. And we're going to rock gently over our wrists.
Yes.
It's good, huh? And you can lift them a little bit at the far range, if that feels good. And same with this. Always trying to keep those shoulders active and not just caving in. And breathing while we rock.
What do you want my head together?
You're still, yeah, looking down at the mat is probably going to be the most comfortable, so we're not overextending that neck and messing with our spine. Awesome. And we'll change it up. We'll flip our hands so they're facing outwards. Great.
Sideways?
Yeah, sideways, that's it. And we're going to rock side to side. So head still looking towards the ground, but you'll feel your wrists working in a slightly different way. They might feel a little stiff. That's all good. Nice. Perfect. Cool. Well, I've got you here in this position. We'll sit back for a second. I'm going to do, I guess I'm calling them hip circles, but I don't really have a name for them. So hands will come out in front of us again, index fingers facing forward. And we're going to bring our legs a bit further back so that we can come almost into like a froggy position, bring our hips down onto the floor. From here, we're going to make circles. So I'll lean and shift my weight back and then rock around to the left. And the whole way. So go super slow and just figure out what feels good. Hang a little bit longer in the places that maybe you need a little more time. And keep breathing. And then we'll go, yours is more like a triangle. Oh, says Sarah, she's stiff. And you go back in the opposite direction. Far out, triangle's not good. So really trying to lean back almost onto your feet at the end. And then when we reach the forward range, it's like we're bringing our hips, our pelvis down to the floor. So you're getting full range. Excellent. How you doing there, Jimbo?
Very slowly.
Very slowly, very good. Cool, we'll take a break from that one. So next we're gonna lie down and do a nice shoulder and chest opener. A lot of us climbers, myself included, probably don't stretch out our chest and our shoulders enough, and this one was a lifesaver for me. I used to have really bad issues with it, and this helps me a lot. So we're gonna reach our arms out wide into a T position. Yeah, excellent. And you'll be looking possibly forehead towards the mat. I'm gonna lift my mouth up so that you can hear me for now. Press into your left palm. We're gonna use our right hand to push us up, and then we're gonna float our right toes and foot back behind us if we can. So we're rolling onto our left hip, and you should feel a bit of a stretch in your pecs. So across the chest, maybe in the back of the shoulder. Just relax your neck. And you can bring your head to lie on the floor if that feels comfy. Try and think about what you're doing with your jaw. Is it clenched? Is your neck feeling tight? We want to relax into all of these as much as possible. So just breathe deep and enjoy the stretch. or try to enjoy the stretch, depending on how it feels. Awesome. So we'll float that right foot back over and roll onto our stomach. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So reach that right hand out nice and wide. Push into your right hand. Use the left hand as your support. And then we're going to roll slowly over onto our right hip. And if you can, bring that left foot back onto the floor. If it's just hanging out in the air, that's also fine. You do you. Just make sure that, you're getting that stretch. And we'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Try and relax into it. Because we're going to do one more variation of this and really open up your chest and shoulders. Excellent. Nice, doing great. So roll back over. The next one works pretty much exactly the same way, except we're going to create a 90-degree angle with our elbow. So instead of straight arms out, we're going to fold that one in. Perfect. And from there, the other one stays straight. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we push with this guy, roll back onto that left hip, and bring that right foot over as much as possible. So you'll feel that one's really good on the shoulders. Yes. Nice. And yeah, that one's harder. Like I can't even, I can probably just get my foot down. So it's totally fine if your foot is in the air floating.
I've got my toe down.
Yeah, toe down. Way to go, Jimbo. Don't feel alarmed. Alrighty, one more deep breath for me. And then let's roll back slowly onto your stomach. And we'll set up for the next one. Good, huh? Good thing you warmed up for the stretch, hey? Jimbo's here stretching before we start class. Super keen. So let's turn that right arm into that right angle. Excellent. Get your left hand ready to give you a little hand and help you over. And then we're going to roll onto our right hip. Awesome. And float that left foot over. So head down on the floor, just relax and take a few deep breaths. Really try and lean into the stretch in a safe and gentle way. Awesome. You guys are doing great. No?
Pain.
If it's in pain, that's not good. The good pain or the bad pain?
Good pain.
The good pain. Awesome. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Bring it back to the middle. We'll just hang out for a second. Get our breath. Awesome.
Long hour.
So we're going to work our way into what our yogis will know is downward facing dog before we step up. So we'll bring our hands close to our chest. Yeah, that's right. We're going to curl our toes and tuck them underneath. And then we'll just come into, we'll go first up onto our knees. So we're pushing up. Nice. And from our knees, we're going to push back on, push into your hands. And we're trying to make a triangle shape. So this one is great for everything. Shoulders, also probably your calves. So let's try and pedal out our feet a little bit. That's it. Just warm up those calves. Nice. And push through your hands at the same time. Try and bring those hips up nice and high to the air if you can. And just wake up your calves and legs and shoulders. Awesome. From here, we're going to look forward through our hands and just walk slowly our feet up to our hands and get ready to come up to a standing position. Nice. And we'll just slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until you find yourself in a nice standing position. Cool. So we're not done yet. We're going to do a little bit of active flexibility before we finish. So working on a wide leg stance. This is good in the climbing scheme of things for if you're on the wall and your legs are spread out really far, you get a stem maybe between a corner and you need to work your feet up. So active flexibility is helpful. Yay, we love active flexibility. So we're gonna bring our feet a bit wider. Maybe let's start just inside or just outside the mat, wherever feels good for you, but a bit wider than your normal stance. And we're going to remember our posture. So keep that head floating above rib cage above pelvis, awesome. And drop your shoulders back and down, externally rotating a little bit. From here, we're gonna hinge at the hips and just come down and feel that wide leg stretch. So bring your arms, if you can, underneath a little bit. If not, you can just hang onto your elbows and hang out there for a minute, drop your head down, let your spine relax, let your neck relax. If you want to, rock out, whatever feels good. From here, we're going to actively engage and lift ourselves back up. So I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips, but you don't have to, that's optional. And we're gonna push through our feet, through our heels, keep those shoulders back and down, and just lift back up. And we're gonna work our feet a little bit wider apart. So we're gonna repeat this a couple of times, basically, trying to widen our stance and see if we can lift our body back up. So feet have pedaled out, awesome. Same thing, let's bring our hands back to our hips and we lower, hinge back down, nice. And you can drop the whole way down. Awesome. Breathe and hang out here for a second. We'll take one more breath, and as we exhale, we're going to lift back up. So breathing in, exhaling, pushing through your feet, engaging your posterior chains, all of your backside and working. And then we're going to scoot our feet a little bit wider again. Awesome. Same thing. Deep breath, bring the posture, shoulders down, keep that energy through the spine, hinge at the hips, nice. Drop your head, crown of your head to the floor, hang out there for a minute, take a deep breath. Breathing in, and when we exhale, we're going to come back up again. So exhaling, pushing through your feet, trying to keep that posture aligned, nice, and then scooting those feet out again. How are you doing over there, Jimbo?
Good.
Yeah, you think you can get a bit further?
My socks are getting a bit...
Oh no, you put your socks on, I didn't even see that.
My socks are getting wound up.
Cool, so take it out a little bit further if you can.
Wrinkled socks.
Awesome. Let's go one more. So breathing as we come down, good.
How do you remove your socks without lifting your feet?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Yeah, this exercise.
Awesome. And one more, breathing in, exhaling on the way out, pushing up. So I'm struggling there. How are you doing, Sarah, in the background? Yeah, having a hard time. So probably can't even get a full foot out. Let's just squish a little bit further. We're gonna test your active range one more time and see if we can get back up. So posture, we're gonna hinge, good, bring it down low. We take one deep breath in and out, and then one more in, and we're gonna move back up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Awesome, and that's not it. We're gonna work our feet back in. So we're gonna go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Awesome.
My socks.
And make sure we got that full range. Awesome.
Around like a corkscrew.
Amazing. So we need a couple more stretches to go. Super easy to finish up. We just do. You probably can keep your socks on.
I think I might.
These ones are easy.
These are getting a bit tricky.
Cool. So I'll start explaining the next one while Jimbo's getting sorted out.
That's called a sock stretch.
Super easy. Left leg is coming in front of right leg. This is in the stretch piece that I wrote. So you can check that out in the crimp if you want to. A few super easy stretches for the end of the day. We're just folding at the hips and seeing how close to the ground you can get. So really relax your head down to the ground. If you're super bendy like me, Bring your hands further back. Try and get your rib cage as close to your thighs as you can. If you can't get that low, that's all good. Just hang out where it feels comfortable and take a couple of deep breaths there. One more breath in and out. And then slowly work your way back up. One vertebrae at a time. Awesome. And when we get to the top, we remember our good posture. So we're going to open up our shoulders, bring them back and down. And then we're going to cross the other way. So bring your right leg over and the exact same thing. Folding at the hips. Nice. And finding that place that you can feel comfortable and hang out. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Awesome. And finally rolling back up one last time. Nice. You got this. Cool. To finish out, we're just going to find our good posture again. So feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forwards. I want you to imagine that you're screwing your feet into the ground. So we're not twisting them out, but that will activate your hips so they're going to externally rotate a little bit. You squeeze your bum so it's on, and then we take our deep breath. Imagine that our rib cage is floating over our pelvis. Breathe out and bring those shoulders back and down. And we're just going to hang out here for 3 deep breaths before we finish up and bring some energy to that spine the way that we started, so that hopefully you can take that into the rest of your evening, whatever you do tonight. So deep breath in. Awesome. Well done, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're keen for another stretch, tomorrow morning, Sean will be running a yoga class at 9 a.m. That's through the Kirawi page. And if you're not feeling very inspired, like I said, you can check out the Crimp newsletter blog, and there's a super easy stretch sequence that I've written a blog about on there. Otherwise, hopefully see you next class. Have a great evening, and yeah, have a good one.